All right, let's use our selection tool so we can move on to artboard number 5. All right, on artboard number 5, we're going to use our pen tool, and we're going to start by clicking and dragging up to the red dot to set our first smooth anchor point. We're going to come over to anchor point 2. We're going to click and drag down. And at this point, we don't want to keep going in this direction. So we're going to hold down the Option key, and we're going to come back to where we see the little upside down V, and we're going to click, and what that's going to do is it's going to give us a new anchor point. It's going to break it off so that it's not coming down here to the gold like it was. It's going to allow us to move it up here to set our next direction point. So that's just saying our next curve needs to go up also. So it is, we can go over to point 3, click and drag down. We can come back to that anchor point 3, hold Option and click and drag our direction line that had been down here. We're going to take it up to the red, let go, and we're going to come over to point 4, and we're going to click and drag down. And now instead of letting go of our mouse and going back to the point 4 and clicking, we're just going to hold down Option right now, and that's going to allow us to move this one right away. So holding Option, we're going to swing this bad boy up here, let go of our mouse. That set our new directional handle up. That allows us to go to point 5, click and drag down. When we get where we want to be, we're going to hold Option or Alt, and we're going to swing that bad boy up here. And then we're going to come to point 6, and we're going to finish. So you can turn this point from a smooth point to a corner point by either going back over it and Option clicking and dragging up the new directional handle the new way you want it to go, or like we did here, as we dragged it down, we hold Option and that breaks the two of them. They're no longer tied together, and we're able to swing it up at that point. So if you want to practice without all of the extra information in your way, click and drag up to set your first point, click and drag down, come back up and hold Option and click and drag up your new selection or your new directional handle, leading handle, saying it's going to be an up curve. Come over and drag down again, hold Command or Control on a PC, whoops. Okay, I got something weird going on here. I'm going to back up a step. Click and drag down. Oh, it's Option, not Command. It's Option or Alt on a PC to get that directional handle up here. And then the other way you can do it, which maybe is just as easy, is when you get this handle down here, you've got your curve where you like it, but you don't want the next curve to be going downward. We're just going to hold Option or Alt and swing that directional handle back up and continue on. So Option or Alt, bring that directional handle up and finish. And again, if it's not perfect, remember you can go back with your direct selection tool. So if I wanted to improve this one, I would maybe look at this anchor point with my direct selection tool. Come on. There we go. So these are the 2 points that make up this curved line. So right now I've selected this one, but I can tweak this side, or I can come over here, select that one, and tweak this. So you can always go back with your direct selection tool and make improvements to the paths that you've made. So we now know how to do, zoom out. We know how to do the kind of caterpillar look, allow it to go smooth to smooth to smooth point. And we just learned how to use Option or Alt to break those directional handles so that they're not paired together. We're going to break one of them off and set it up in a new spot so that our next curve goes up also. So we broke these smooth points and turned them into corner points. The last thing that we have to learn, as you can see by this preview, is how we're going to go from curved to straight lines back into curves. So practice a few more times with especially making this S-shaped curve and with making the bumps like this, where you change the corner point. And when you feel comfortable with that, we're going to go on to number 6. Again, this is your practice. You want to feel comfortable with this before we move on to the actual exercise, which is drawing a swan. And we're going to put all these ideas to work, so you want to be comfortable. So continue to practice with, steps 3, 4, 5, and 6 that maybe are difficult before we move on.